Live from the Channel 7 studios, it's AM San Francisco. Here are your hosts, filling in for the vacationing Jerry Lowry and Fred Lacoste, Lillian Glass, and Pete Wilson.
A very enthusiastic crowd here this morning.
Sure are.
Do I have to call you doctor for the
No,
next
you
two
can
days?
call me Lillian.
Just Lillian. I can call you Lillian. What are you a doctor of?
I'm a
exactly?
doctor of communication disorders.
Oh.
So
Like-
watch it.
Like what?
Like how you speak.
I knew that. Actually, we've been sort of kidding around because she is I'm going to have to ask you to do this during the course of the next couple of days because we'll be working here. By the way, Fred and Terry will be back on Monday. They continue on what seems like an endless vacation, at least to me.
Right, and, right. And Pete here is on the 11 o'clock news, so those of you tune in to see this man. No, watch him, he's great.
What day is this? Well, no, it's a strange split day. You know, I feel like I'm running 2 days per day. It's very, very strange. We have a people poll question for you this morning, and it's kind of related to a guest that we'll be talking to, a very distinguished guest we'll be talking to later on in the show. And that simply is, should the U.S. get out of the United Nations? Now, you've heard this before over the course of the last 40 years, but we're asking it again this morning. The number 415-478-VOTE. Just tell us yes or no, should the U.S. get out of the UN?
Right.
Okay. And Abba Eban is the guest that we're going to have on later on. Of course, the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations and one of the most eloquent speakers and writers in the world. He has just written a new book. We'll be talking about diplomacy and about what in the world the U.S. is doing in the Middle East.
And we're going to talk a little bit about collector's plates.
I still don't understand. These are, I mean, they're just plates, right?
They're actual plates that are worth a fortune.
Yes, I know.
A fortune.
I knew they were worth a fortune. I just didn't know what they were. I'll be talking to Lazo. So I'll get the education a bit later on as well. Okay.
Now, how many of you watch about 2 hours of television? Well, the national average is about 6 hours. I see a hand going up here. And my first guest has all the inside scoop of what's going on behind the scenes in TV. Please welcome from the Hollywood Reporter TV columnist Richard Hack.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We're not a good meeting like this.
So great. Oh, my goodness.
What do we do? You gave me more makeup? Is that it?
I gave you more makeup. I thought you needed a little lipstick, so I kissed you on the mouth.
You did a little TV yourself. You helped out Conrad Bain.
We sure did. How did you hear about that?
Yeah. Do you know what this little lady did? Conrad Bain, you know, from Different Strokes. In a show coming up in November, he plays, what is it, his aunt from...
He plays
or his
a
mother?
Dutch aunt. A
Yeah,
Dutch aunt.
And comes on the show in drag. Plays two parts. She helped him with his dialogue, and you also, did you help Dana?
I helped him sound like a woman, and I helped him with his Dutch accent, and I also helped Dana Plato sound like a boy.
Right, because she plays her cousin,
right? And her Dutch accent.
It's very convenient. And she also helped Dustin Hoffman in Tootsie, so we can't really be too sure who you are now. Are you really Lillian?
I am Dr. Glass.
Oh, okay. What a relief.
Richard, last time you were here, you talked about the winners and the losers. Now let's see.
We had some picks ahead of time. We went out on that limb. We sawed it off.
Yeah.
Well,
let's see what we did. We'll go through each of the networks and see how we did. Yellow Rose on NBC. You said that would be a winner. Right.
And Yellow Rose just happens to be so far a hit. It's only been on once, but hey, a lot of people tuned in. It is Saturday night, and it's doing very well. It wasn't on Saturday night, the first episode out. It was on a Sunday night, a special length episode. But it looks pretty good. A lot of steamy sex on it.
Oh, good. And that's with Sybil Shepherd and David Soul. David Soul's
Sam Elliott.
And Sam Elliott.
Edward Albert and Susan Anspot, who just quit. Hello, agent time,
good performers, yeah. But you know, the publicity that old David Soul's been getting has not been good. Do you think the viewership will go down?
You mean about his alleged wife beating?
Yes, yes.
The viewership probably will go up because in the program he's supposed to be beating his wife too. That's why she left him. They'll probably want to see how he did it. I mean, you know.
All right.
On the other hand, in all fairness, David said, "Hey, I never touched the woman," both on screen and off. So we'll have to wait and see how that one turns out.
Okay. On NBC, Manimal. You said it was a flop.
I said it was the worst thing to come out since chopped liver. Now, have you ever tasted chopped liver?
I love
Ladies,
it. I love chopped liver with onions. It's great. It's great. We disagree.
Don't come to my house. Manimal has been on twice. Down the tubes. We're batting 1,000.
Why do you say that? Why is it down the tubes?
Because nobody is watching it, and why should they? It's about a journalist who can turn into a kitty cat, a leopard, a cobra.
Okay.
And I mean,
I get your point. I get your point.
Suspend belief, but we don't have to fall asleep.
All right, CBS, Scarecrow and Mrs. King. You said that's a hit.
Right. Scarecrow and Mrs. King is funny, it's dramatic, and it also is a hit. It was on Monday night, had a 37 share, which means 37% of the people who had their TV sets turned on, tuned in, and that's not bad.
CBS, you said Whiz Kids is a failure. Now, anything with kids and animals has to make it, and so far an animal failed and kids are failing. What's going on?
Right down the tubes. I don't know. Came on Wednesday night, 20% tuned in. That's not even a third of the country, and when you have 3 networks, 20% is terrible. And not only that, remember I said that why Whiz Kids was good, it created a bad role model because you have kids with computers going into banks, you know, and changing the bank accounts and doing up Braves. I mean, the Hardy Boys never got away with that. You know, their father would have got a crack. Got them.
Now, you said Hotel was a success. Is it?
I said Hotel would be a success, but now it is. That's what
it is.
Remember, it was filmed. The first part was filmed here at the
Fairmont,
right?
But Richard, isn't the drawing card Betty Davis, and she's pretty sick right now, from what we understand.
Well, apparently the drawing card isn't Betty Davis because she was only in the pilot. They've had on 3 episodes so far, 2 of which she hasn't been in. She was replaced by Ann Baxter, who plays her sister-in-law. Ann is doing a great job. Betty Davis is back in Hollywood now, however, and she is in rehearsal.
Is she speaking? I mean, because she's had a stroke.
To me?
Betty Davis has had, well, not to you, but Betty Davis has had a stroke, and sometimes it affects your speech.
She is not only speaking, she is yelling.
She is yelling, all right.
She is yelling because, after all, there have now been 7 episodes filmed, and she has not been in any. I mean, hey, the dressing room door says Ann Baxter. That does not set well when you are a superstar.
So we might see Betty Davis back.
You will see her. You will see her
good.
back by the show that comes out around Christmas time. The Christmas theme hotel will have her in.
Lottery. You said that was a failure, and ratings have shown that it is a success. At least my ratings.
Now, wait a second. Your ratings.
Our ratings.
No.
The
Let us
research
explain
department.
this. Lottery went on at the beginning of September early. ABC, after they heard that I said that show was going to be a lottery. Can you imagine? They put on sweepstakes. NBC put on sweepstakes a couple of years ago, the same time slot. Didn't do a thing. ABC puts it on. Got huge ratings the first 2 weeks because it's against reruns. But as soon as Dallas started back on the air, goodbye Lottery. I mean, it's down. It's below. It's almost the lowest rated show on the air. Terrible. It's going to be that before Christmas. It's going to have its stocking filled with coal, and you heard it here first. So if you want to see that show, tune in real quick because it's a bummer.
So how would you summarize the winners and the losers in terms of the new shows?
Well, the ones we just went over are definite winners, those 3. We also have a dark horse in a show called Mr. Smith about a talking orangutan.
Yeah,
That's sort of
what
a
about
sleeper.
that?
I even reviewed it good, and then I got a lot of strange letters saying, "You'd like a show about a talking orangutan?"
But Mr. Ed worked. Mr. Ed worked for years. We loved Mr. Ed.
That's exactly what I said, but I liked Mr. Ed. I still do. But the difference is this orangutan not only talks really, but they have their act really down perfectly, but the writing on it is superb. Some of the best writers are from Taxi, Mary Tyler Moore, and we've got to go away.
Well, we're going to be back with Richard Hack, and we're going to talk to him a little bit more. We're going to hear about some of the upcoming mini-series that are going to be taking place.
We're even going to see some clips?
We're going to see some clips, and it's going to be
great. And I'm
great.
going to tap dance?
Yes.
Oh,
no, he's going to sing, and we'll have another kiss.
That's another show, but hey, don't invite me back.